to me, driving and I won't stop. And it feels so good to be alive and on top. My reach is global, my tower secure. My cause is noble, my power is pure. I can hand down a million vaccinations, so let them all die in exasperation. Have them all healed from the laceration. I'm killed by assassination. I can make anybody go to prison just because I don't run. And I can do anything with no permission. I have it all under my command because I can guide a missile by satellite. By satellite. By satellite. And I can hit a target through a telescope. Through a telescope. Through a telescope. And I can end the planet in a holocaust. In a holocaust. In a holocaust. In a holocaust. In a
folks, welcome back. Let me get the headset on here, kill a couple of musical items in the background, and hop on over to our solar report. Here it goes. Let it load up quick. Let the loop play here real quick, and you can see we did a report last night on the very first beginning of this event right here. So that's 1, 2, it looked like 3 blasts. So that's, yeah. So let's count them again here. We'll go through it again here. I'll freeze frame it here, and we'll start going frame by frame here in a sec. Come on, computer. There we go. A couple objects there that are clearly visible. And let's just, come on, computer, there it goes. Alright, now it's all loaded up. We'll let the loop play one more time here, and then we'll freeze frame it on the first frame, and go frame by frame. Okay, so we'll back it up a little bit here. Whoops. Alright, opening frame, April 6th, 036 of 2023. Okay, opening frame right here. You can see our Ahura Mazda thing streaking through there already, and we have a CME underway here with an object in it. And as we saw last night, as this progresses, you'll see here's our object really kind of draped in plasma, but behind it the ghost image gives a good detail of it right about there. Okay, then you can see we had a secondary object that had snapped out and is catching up to this one. So we had one, and then a second one. Well, it looks like even a third. Then what appears to be almost 2 of them right there. Let's get that nice and clear for you guys. And back up, back up, back up. See, it's nice and clear right here. You can see the magnetic field around it. And then the previous one right there. Okay, so now that you can see it a little better, let's progress forward. That's 1, 2 objects, 3, possibly 4. All right, just in that little melee right there. That's the first CME with like 4 objects. Then we have another CME right behind it with what looks like a couple more objects embedded in it. As that progresses out. Hang on just a second. I'll be right back. Huh? Oh. Are you going out? Yeah. Spend the night at Nally's. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. We had a little interruption there, but back to business now. And as you can see here, as we were progressing forward here, looks like we have another one. We got our instrument reacting to it. So we have had a melee of objects come out and interact with the sun. And here's our third CME. Okay, another looks right about there. You can see here's our object, dark round circular spheroid object. Here's its magnetic field. Almost looks like a coupling. This one and this one have made a bigger bubble. I don't know, a bigger magnetic bubble. But as we progress on, you can see that we have a 4th CME with another object in it. Okay, and these are the closing frames. And it looks like we have another one busting out, another CME, and that was the last frame right there. Let's cheat and go back to, oh wait, it's not that late at night. I'm used to doing a next day one. No, I don't see anything else. Okay. All right, let's go over to stereo A though. I never checked this one yet today, so take a little peek and see what stereo A captured for us. basically nothing. What a useless bunch of data. I mean, we had 4 CMEs. You saw it. You counted them. Wait, we're on the wrong day because that says the 5th. Oh, they don't have data for the 6th. Never mind. Okay, I thought maybe they were hiding data for a second there, which isn't surprising. So we've seen that before. And if I can get this to reload here. All right, well, let's adjust the screen. Here we go. Start over a little bit here. Just click it on in. All right, now we're back. Here we are. Now we probably have some refresh data. Yeah, here we go. Some refresh data. That's our event from the 6th. Here's something on the 7th already, so we'll click on it. Yeah, this is the next few frames from our event that we just witnessed. So let's go next. Oh, so this is the first frame right here. So our event was underway. Remember, our little object was tucked here in the back. So go to the next frame. You can see it. It penetrates through. Then we have another CME go over it. And then it moves out of frame. So we captured our next event going into the 7th here. So that's almost 5 CMEs in one day. So, you know, it carries over into the 7th. So let's go back to the 6th. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, 5 CMEs in one day. Let's go through this just real quick because I want to make sure I got an accurate count. I'm not double counting any of them. All right. So opening frames. There's our first CME. That's 1. That's a long one. There's 2 right here, okay, because that's a new one right here. So that's 2, 3, 4. Almost want to say 5, but not going to count that one. 4. Won't count that one either. 4. Here comes 5. 6, actually. That's 6. And then here comes another one at the end. So 6, almost 7 in one day. So that's quite a lot of activity on our sun today. All right. Which will all get here 3 days from now on the 9th. Speaking of the 9th, should we do it now, Lord? Okay, let's do it now. All right, so we wrapped up everything with the sun here. Now I want to take you over to Israel Hall's channel. I don't know if you guys know who Israel Hall is. He's the friend and helper of Pastor Paul Bagley, yes. And on this night, Mike was on, but they shut Paul's stream down, so he had to stream live through Israel Hall. So Israel Hall came through and saved the day that day. So if you don't know who he is, go over there and pay homage and pay respect to Israel Hall. Give him a sub or a like or both for the information that he relayed, because they shut down Pastor Paul, okay? And I don't know if a lot of you got to see this show, because this one was a little hidden, kind of missing. And there was some vital information in this show that I was going to share with you last week. But we're talking about dates now, okay? I'm not a big date setter, but you know that dates are important. And if today being the 6th, 3 days from now would be the 9th, correct? So those 5 to 6 CMEs that we saw would be possibly making arrival on the 9th. Okay? So, with that in mind, I want you to listen to a brief segment of this show and some very vital information if you haven't heard this from Mike yet. All right, let me get everything positioned just right. There we go. And play. Come on, play.
We have another wave coming in April 9th.
April 9th.
April 9th. 9th. In about, it'll subside after we have another wave coming in April 9th.
April 9th.
April 9th. 19th, April 23rd.
What?
I believe April, there are two in between April 9th and the 9th and 19th. I got to find out what those dates are. So we have a few inbound. April's going to be a pretty interesting month.
Wow.
But we are having, there's still residual forces acting upon coming from the wrong, side of the sun that nobody has assessed activity from and really evaluated that.
So these earthquakes we're having, boom, 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 and these X-class solar flares and the eruptions, and there was even a plasma tornado on the sun last week.
Come on, dang
it. That's really still part of the visuals of that last wave on March 15th.
It very well could be. And again, the sun's chemistry fastball is changing. It's starting to change pretty quick now. And the sun's chemistry fastball is changing. It's starting to change pretty quick now. Some of the elements in the sun, some of the reactants some have decreased, some have increased, and also because we have actual iron coming into the solar system. It's not dense right now, but iron is known as a star killer. Iron actually repels some of the reactive forces of the sun, right? Some of those, it's just a nuclear reaction, so everybody understands. We have a lot of that inbound. This secondary or binary stuff, trash, is coming into this solar system. Those binary effects carry a lot of iron, which will actually go right into the sun. So we're going to see some sputters, backfires, right? When a car backfires, it's pretty loud. It's pretty forceful. We'll see something like that from the sun. These tornadic events, these spread bands, the magnetic couples that come off the sun, they're going to get they're going to be directed closer and closer to Earth. We're also going to have sustained plasma interchanges between the sun and planets as somewhat of a new activity that we'll see. And the reason why we'll see it is because photons are going to take on different properties here pretty soon. So with this inbound system, we're going to see different properties from the sun we've not seen before. And the sun will begin to exchange some of its active matter with the other star. So nobody should be surprised if daylight is altered big time. And then in the night, they see flashes from the sun, right? Can you imagine a super flare, but not actually like the X flares, the CMEs that we see? A super flare would be an extreme amount of photons that are activated all at one time coming off the sun. It would be like hitting your bright lights in the middle of the night, which means it could be nighttime. The sun would be on the opposite side of us, and it would still light up the entirety of the Earth. It would light up all the other planets, all the stars, all the debris around us. So that means, imagine looking in the dead of night, fastball, right? Then all of a sudden you see a bunch of red and turquoise streaks like you never had before. And that will be like reflecting off these very small objects that we've never seen before, because the sun will emit light for about 2 or 3 milliseconds, but it'll put off like 20 times more light than it ever has. It'll be blinking like that. Then it will stop and do it again. Then it will stop for a while and do it again. And these strange effects continue to happen until we start to see sustained magnetic interchanges happening in the atmosphere, which means we're going to have an illuminated atmosphere day and night. So
are you serious? So
yeah.
And I noticed that we're having these auroras in the South Pole and North Pole, and they're even red. The sky was just really red down in the South Pole area, the southern hemisphere. Is the radiation levels, is our magnetosphere weakened to the point that we're being inundated with more and more radiation?
Well, sheer solar winds and the density of the solar wind, is increasing. So not the speed of the solar winds, but density, as far as how much matter is coming to Earth, is increasing. Now, of course, the different colors in the North and the South Pole are based on altitude and some of your chemical compositions that are being impacted by high-speed particles. For example, oxygen, nitrogen, both burn at different colors, right? When you have high-speed collisions, they are red in your red spectrum all the way to the green. You have different components that are hit, and they normally tell you what's in the atmosphere. But they also are a good indication that high-speed collisions are taking place right over your head as they spread throughout the Earth. And they are red and blue and purple and green and all these different colors. It'll look pretty, but people won't comprehend something that normally indicates large amounts of debris is inbound.
Wow.
The beginning of the meteor storms will start coming right after that.
Now, Mike.
Okay. So, I hope you guys were paying attention and listening closely. The chemistry of the sun has changed. There are inbound particles. There's a lot going on, okay? There are some dates that he set, like the first one, April 9th. Weren't we just talking about April 9th and this inbound energy hitting the Earth, coming our way? All right, folks, so our next date to watch out for is April 9th, and it is now turning the 7th. So as of tomorrow morning, or this coming morning, we will have a 2-day warning, all right? So I am giving you guys a 2-day warning, a 2-day heads up to watch out for April 9th, all right? All kinds of electromagnetic disruptions and kind of stuff. All right, so we're going to come over to this page now. All right, and back out of this. I was just using that as examples. But let's go dive into the sun's daily heart attack. All right. One more. That's good enough. And then we'll scroll it up and pull it over. There we go. Adjust it for you guys. So, as you can see, here was yesterday's dive and then rebound. Today, it doesn't show the 4 CMEs that we had today. There's one, but where's all the activity that we just witnessed from the sun? It did its dive again. This one tapers differently than this one. It went deeper than this one. Today was an excruciatingly painful day. I'm surprised I'm still alive. Here's the radiation when it hits the planet, okay? It sets these events off, these electromagnetic disruptions that disrupt radios, satellites, all kinds of stuff, all right? Today we had this M flare. So they're only reporting the 1.3 solar flare, but we know better, don't we, folks? We just witnessed. I'm not going there. But there's a pretty shot of the M flare. That's on the incoming limb, on the eastern limb or whatever. So this, whatever sunspot or possibly our object that has left a scar in the corona and a possible coronal hole rotating around in our direction now. A lot of these coronal holes are scars from CMEs. When these CMEs rip away, well, what they're ripping away is parts of the corona. Okay, it's not actual matter from the surface of the sun so much as it is matter from the corona. Okay, so every time one of these things rips away a bunch of plasma, it's weakening the corona of the sun. The sun has to keep regenerating the corona. Okay, then as we back out of this. No, let's slide up a little bit over to our instrument here, and we're going to go a little deeper. What for? It only shows lack of data, but I want to see, yes, our purple one plunged off the scale finally, and it did here on yesterday's event. See this little gap right there? Then here it plunged off the scale again. So now this goes 18 short is corresponding with our dips, okay? Now if this thing is eclipsing, if the Earth is eclipsing this satellite, why aren't we seeing these violent dips in this one? We get a little red line every once in a while, but where's the violent dip like we see from the missing red line? That's that goes 18 short. Whoops, right here. There's supposed to be another red line going across this way. There was for the longest time from the goes 16 long, sorry. The goes 16 short, the blue line is there, so the satellite is there, and I don't, well, you might see a little break in the blue line right there. So I would expect to see some kind of correlation with these dips from the goes 16 short as well, because that's the goes 16 satellite. Here's the goes 18 satellite, the short and the long, or long and short, okay? That's the long and short of it. So as we back out, there's our missing red line, and that's why it's not in there, because it shows these violent dips like this. And if this is really the sun doing this, going into the A range, and just like Mike said, you're going to see blips and sputters from the sun, right? Did he not just say that? Wouldn't this be the blips and stutters in the sun that we're on day 38 now? Okay, so there's more going on than they're telling us. This instrument is reading something correctly, okay? All right, this thing right here is more than just meets the eye, because I'm having paranormal attacks during that period. Violent ones. This whole day was one big violent one. Okay, moving on. Are we done here? Oh, I was going to open up the tracker, but I just a few minutes ago, and there was no data on it. We're going to open it anyways, because sometimes they like to update it while I'm live. And nope, nothing on it. Okay. Just while we're here, though, I want to point out one more time the position of the Earth. This is the sun. CME's going this direction would hit us, right? Also, our IMF line, this magnetic field line that connects us to the sun, this dotted black and white line is in the shape of an arc. It's not, we're not connected straight on like this. It's actually bent because the rotation of the sun, okay? The sun's rotating too. So this is the energy coming off the sun as it's rotating, and it actually comes out in a spiral shape. And our IMF line is that same spiral. Well, where we connect to the actual face and surface of the sun is at 24 degrees right here. And when we come over here to, oh wait, we got to back one out real quick. And then when we come over here to the sunspot, we're, oh, they didn't show it. So this is our new incoming sunspot, but the ones that are on the other side of the sun at that 24 degrees will still connect with the Earth, okay? And right now we had that sunspot yesterday. It looks like maybe they're not going to show it or rotate it out. I could go to a different, but I got other stuff. So let's move on to the Schumann. Coffee here. Oh, well, looky there, huh? You guys notice anything going on there? Anything look strange on the Schumann today? I know, I'm being sarcastic. Let me move a couple of audio items so we can pull in a little bit closer here for you folks. All right. Apparently, the whole world stopped today No, it didn't stop. It's just a gap in the data. But we do have a blast or a grinding event underway right now. So this is this is the core grinding in its shell because they both expand. The shell can't expand outward, so it expands inward down onto the core. The core expanding outward as the shell expanding inward. The two grind on each other. The core has to keep spinning. It's actually spinning backwards, which is its natural rotation. Before, the core was over rotating. It was spinning in the wrong direction, over rotating as we were going around the sun. The way we rotate around the sun grapples with our magnetic core and spins it counterclockwise to the rotation around the sun. That's the way the core is supposed to rotate, and we had a core stoppage and a reversal. And now we have what I call forward and reverse, okay? Because the shell is still rotating forward, but the core is rotating in reverse. And at least it's still rotating, because when those two lock up, and it stops rotating, that electromagnetic dynamo in there that produces the force field around the Earth shuts down. Okay, we can't have that. We cannot have the core and the shell locking down and seizing up like an engine. Okay, if that happened, core lock. Yeah, that's a good term for it. Thank you, Sage of Siddim. Core lock. Yeah, that. I'm going to make a new title out of that. Thank you. You just coined a very important scientific phrase, and I'm going to give credit to the Sage of Sidon because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. If we had a core lock event, the magnetic field would drop. It would drop entirely, and we would just be naked to the sun. The solar wind on a slow day would fry us instantly. Okay, any exotic particles coming out of space would just penetrate right through everything. Okay, so it's the most important thing besides the sun shining is the core spinning inside the shell. Okay, and the sun has its core and its shell, and when they seize up, this is the Schumann for the sun. This is the GOES X-ray flux. This is what the hum of the sun is, and it's humming along and then hum right along and then hum right along and boom. All right. The sun is having these violent heart attacks on a consistent basis. And where are we? Oh, what was I going to say? This also correlates with something else. So it's fine. Two things can be true at the same time. And, I don't really accept their explanation too much anymore because I went and did all kinds of experiments, research, math, and these should be identical. They should all be identical depths. It should taper in and taper out. Yes, Whitetail 7, you can post a link in there. Go ahead and post a link in my chat. I was just answering a mod was asking to post a video in my chat, and I told her she could. Anyways, disruptions in the sun is what I believe is going on here, because the paranormal events that coincide with these are like dying. If that's what is really happening to the sun, that's not good. Anyways, I pray I'm wrong. I really pray I'm wrong. I would much rather just keep this personal and keep this stuff a secret, but it sucks that it's correlating. Now, where was I moving on to? Oh, so we were here at the Schumann. The core is spinning. That's this green line going across right here at 7.8. Okay, we'll just call it 8 because the side over here. So we're humming along at 8. That's what we should be humming, a nice green line. That's what this instrument showed for years and years and years, until all of a sudden we started having core issues and these grinding and squeaking and stuff like this, all right? These white, what I call a blast, but it's not a blast, it's really a grinding of the brakes, like you had a bad set of brakes, and your pads are, your brakes are worn out, your pads are worn out, and the calipers and squeezing down on the metal. You all know what that squeal and that grinding sensation, or that grinding sound, sounds like. In fact, that's what I need to do, because this, all right, I'm going to look up some kind of video, just any kind of example here. Just bear with me for a second. I'm going to give you an example of the sky quakes, because, please Lord, let this YouTube open, because you can hear the metal on metal sound. You know what? You can hear the metal on metal sound bouncing off the atmosphere. Okay? Skyquake. And that's what they call them, skyquakes. Right? What an appropriate term. On with this computer. Now, hello, enter. I'm just trying to find an example real quick. We'll go back to the report here in a second, and I'll play the example later. I'm sure you've all heard the trumpet blasts that are coming from the sky or whatever. I don't want an ad and all this junk either. Come on. What is going on? Fine, just pause that. Now, back to our report. So, here we are at the Schumann. This Schumann, this is the core grinding on the shell. Okay, that power, that energy, those vibrations, these low ELF frequency waves travel up through the magma. They slow down as they travel through the magma. Then they hit the underside of the crust where they really slow down, and then we start seeing these readings. Now, these sounds, these squeaks, are low frequency. You can't hear them, but they emanate from the surface of the earth. They go out towards space, but then they hit the ionosphere, the atmosphere, and they bounce back down in the form of echoes. And that's what this instrument does, is it captures the echoes bouncing off the atmosphere. The hum of the dynamo humming and bouncing off the atmosphere, capturing the echo on this chart. And that's what these are echoes of the sounds of the earth bouncing off the atmosphere. Okay, that's what this Schumann resonance in this chart is. It's not your New Age vibe thing. What's the New Age vibe thing is the 7.83. That's the same resonance your body resonates at, that all the animals and creatures on this planet resonate at. They have to, in order to live on this planet. If this frequency were to ever change, we would go berserk. We would lose our minds. It would hurt. It would be painful. It's already painful. And I'm not, you can sense it and feel it. But we're still pumping along, forward and reverse. What I don't like is this, not blast, but this screeching right here. We are in the middle of a screeching event, okay? It's very shallow. It's not too deep. It's when we see this white power go off the chart here and just fully white, those are huge blasts. And I could give you examples. I'll find some archive examples of days where we had the whole thing was white for like 6 hours. Yeah, I mean, white, solid white from this point to this point. One big, huge grinding. And I'll even take you to the day that the core stopped and reversed. Give me strength, Lord. All right. We got to continue on. We'll take that avenue another time here. Let's get on with the report here. I'm going to pull up the null school here, and you can see that our upper jet stream here has shifted again. It was kind of going this way. Now it's kind of going back up, and it's traveling this way, but it's still draping energy at this tail back behind it. So we're going to put the winds back in, all right, and you can see that we have this bubble that's coming down, and we got this cold air aloft that's coming out of like the Hudson Bay area, or, just west of it. But this cold air is coming together with this hot, moist, warm air. It's where these two air masses collide and mix together that this cocktail gets blended together right here in this region. This region is still under the gun right now, and the latest storm that we had has still not cleared all the way out yet. So before we go to the weather, I want to take you to the polar jet, the very top, the top layer here. Okay, let me pull back a little bit. Now, as we look down on the top of the Earth, looking down, you can see our polar jet should be going around in a nice circle right here. But there's a big break in the circle right here. And where's that big break in the circle at? It's over America. And what's happening in this break is it's getting diverted down, coming across the Pacific Ocean, picking up moisture, and then coming right at the west coast. So the west coast of the United States of America, from, I would say, from the Gulf of Alaska all the way down British Columbia, all the way down to basically Southern California, right up at Mexico, that whole zone right there is in the polar vortex. Do you catch me? It's not in a regular weather pattern. We're in the frickin' polar vortex. It's diverting down and coming right at America. It's going to keep sending storms this way, okay? Even though it's springtime, this is cold air up at the top of the planet still. Even in the summertime, it's still cold up there. All this cold air is getting shoved down to moist, warm air. It's kind of mixed together and still slam us with these storms. And what's really important now, and I've had to read my reporting now a little bit, is this convergence. It's where is this convergence point? Where is the cocktail being? Where is that warm, moist air and cold air colliding? Sometimes it's shifting this way. Lately, it's backed up now, and it's taking a different angle. This hasn't left. It's still here. This convergence is, you see the high-speed winds? That's the winds converging. The coloration in this is not moisture. The coloration is the wind speeds, okay? So, as we remove the wind real quick, you'll see the coloration. This is the wind at the upper jet, okay? Directs all the storms. So we got really fast winds at the upper jet that are colliding, boom, and making this funnel effect, or like a bottleneck effect, okay, which is still going over the east part of the country, okay, and that's not good. I would rather see this effect leave, but it's been hanging around for a while, okay, and we're not going to go lower. What I do want to show you, though, is just, we got to take a look at our SO2. Every time we're here, even though it doesn't change much, it could change violently at any time. And you can see this sulfur dioxide is just spewing out of the eastern half of the country, all right? The eastern half of the country has a lot of pressure underneath it. It's forcing this gas out. Okay, the lava down below is pushing upward underneath the crust, and it's forcing out all the gases. The East Coast is in big trouble. The West Coast, or the western half, not so much. There were blossom effects, but they seem to be diminishing. The spot over Yellowstone, I think, seems to be diminishing too. This one outside of Salt Lake City hasn't changed. This is Salt Lake City right there, or the Salt Lake. You can see just outside of it, there's a little plume there for the West Coast. The main concern for the West Coast is the Bay Area. And you can see, here's the Bay Area. Let me zoom in a little harder, closer and center it. Alright. Stop moving the cursor here and use it. Here's the Bay Area. You can see the North Bay still has this pressure and this SO2. And it's kind of spreading north. It's not as strong, but here's Tahoe and here's the Bay Area. This is Sacramento right in between. So the valley in that Sacramento Valley area is starting to leak the SO2 as well. This plume, it's not a plume, this emission site has grown easterly. Something else going down here in the Sierras, that looks more down by Yosemite area, or Mammoth. So Mammoth area, Yosemite area, I'll have to get a better reference point for that one, but you can see that they have this sulfur problem too, though most of the world has this problem now. I want to check my buddies, my brothers in Oahu, still spewing SO2, but what I like to see is a little bit coming out of this island and a little bit coming out of that island. They're all connected subterraneally, so any pressure built up here can vent out at other places, and I'd much rather see pressure being released on a less densely populated island with a volcano or earthquake activity, or, you know, just not in the highly populated capital center. Okay, would not be good. So Oahu, still, I'm thankful nothing serious has happened there, but it's still to be on alert. China, they're in deep shit, okay, and for good reason. You see this crap they're trying to pull now? Unbelievable. They are begging to be destroyed by God. I mean, he is so pissed at this country right now. I can't even tell you guys the words he uses because you wouldn't understand him. Anyways, India still got its problems. Look at Saudi Arabia. We all come over here and check these fucking turkeys. I mean, sorry for my French there. Yeah, these traders here, these thieves and criminals, and so yeah, they're paying the price, and they will continue to pay because they've infiltrated all this area, and these guys caved and cowered and let all the bad guys come waltzing right in. You might as well have just entered your entire countries when you let the bad guys waltz right into. Boy, people are. You know what's impressive though? Something I heard today was in France, in Paris or something. No, in France somewhere. They stormed the BlackRock headquarters. Yes, finally some good news. Now let's pray that they're smart and they collected a bunch of evidence from that BlackRock headquarters. I mean, I would be taking every laptop, every document, everything, sealing it up, have a little chain of custody with some protection so you could take that information and start exposing these cocksuckers. And yeah, so BlackRock headquarters in somewhere in France got overran by the rioters, and I hope they collect a bunch of evidence and burn that building to the ground. I want that building flattened to the ground so they can never use it again. And then with all the evidence and documentation, systematically go through each corporation that they've corrupted and start dismantling the entire network of corruption that they and death. BlackRock is the company of death. I mean, them and Monsanto, oh boy, we don't stand a chance. Oh, working for our government? You guys, yeah, it's a good thing you got me on your side, because there ain't nothing else. Okay, we got these plumes from Venezuela going down through Colombia. We had volcanoes going off in Colombia. We had volcanoes going off in this area lately. here, this is just the sketchiest shit right here. These are all individual sites, you guys, and they just go for hundreds and hundreds of miles, thousands of miles, okay? This is not so dense up here, but as we start to get into Ecuador and we start going down into Peru, these are all individual sites. Here's our fulcrum point. Excuse me. Here's our fulcrum point where there's the end in the plate, and look, this is where we're having our earthquakes. This is where we're having pressure release, and it's a hot spot for this SO2. Of course it would be. It's a fulcrum point. And what better example to show you the fulcrum point and how pressure gets released or diverted to this area, And here you can see the intensity of these patches. Now, as we continue down Chile, these are all individual sites. These are pretty intense sites. Look how dark purple they are as we continue down. Please scroll. There we go. You can see how dark they are as we go down Chile. All right, so they have some issues here along the west coast of South America. Volcanoes, earthquakes, any kind of event could happen right in this zone. And this zone is known for some big earthquakes, all right? So just high alert, be prepared, you guys. Australia, they're still not doing too bad. Just a couple little speckles here and there. Who's bleeding out is the island of Java. Bleeding out bad. The whole island has been purple for, what, months now? I don't know how long we've been reporting on this purple island of Java, which is seeing earthquakes, volcanoes going off, volcanic activity. I was just watching, something popped up on my, let's just say something popped up. And it was revisiting the earthquake out here on the subduction zone out here, and the violent tsunami that it was even worse than the one in Japan, if you can imagine that. But we haven't had a big release in this area, and we have this pressure right next to it. So this whole area is like primed for a possible big quake. We are seeing some pressure being released, which is a good sign, but it's no matter how much is released, it's never enough, because we have all that energy coming in on the 9th. All right, the 9th will do something will happen on the 9th, maybe 6 hours to absorb all that energy. Used to take a full day, 12 to 24 hours, but lately, since the planet is so overcharged that any CME absorption happens really quick, and then we have instant results. So you can almost kind of bank on when you see a CME come off the sun and it's heading our direction, that in 3 days on that impact day that you will see a corresponding quake, volcanic eruption, any kind of volcanic activity, fissures, whatever, are going to happen 6 to 10 hours after it hits. Somewhere in that zone is the absorption time now. It took me forever to find that pattern. I thought it was this, I thought it was that. I didn't compensate for the 3 days, but then I found a 3-day slight rhythm, and that wasn't it. And it wasn't occurred to me, I'm like, wait a second, what about absorbing it? It has to have some time to absorb it. So I looked a little deeper at a 4-day rhythm, and bingo, I found the 4-day rhythm. And it tapered. It tapered from 4 days to 3.5 to 3.25 to 3 and 6 hours now. So it's basically 3 days and 6 hours from the moment a CME leaves the sun until we get some kind of result. Okay, now let's move on to our earthquake report. How about that? I saw Doug was on earlier. Just as I went to go live, he goes. So I wouldn't blame if half of my audience is there. Let me refresh this because... All right, good. Nothing new lately. All right, we're going to go into the Ring of Fire here a little bit. You guys ready to jump in the Ring of Fire with me? All right. If you have faith, you are ready to jump in the ring of fire with me. Okay, so I want to check this one right here. This is our area with our deep quakes, and sure enough, we have a 4.4. Let's get all this in the screen, please, Lord. Thank you. And I want tint, and I want the whole screen. Oh, somebody leaving? No, doesn't matter. Anyways, let's continue here. So here's our deep quake, a 4.4 at a depth of 493. Okay, so we're having our deep quakes are popping off quite regularly in this area. And what I want to tell you, the good news about that is they're 4.4 range. Okay, if we were having deep quakes popping off at say 6 or 7, that would not be good. So this is deep pressure being released. This is not the regular pressure releases that I'm talking about at the surface. These deep quakes, are deep pressure releases at 4.4. So that's good. It's deep. When it comes to the surface, it usually produces a bigger quake at the surface. So we will see a 5 and 5.4 to, in that range coming to, in this area at the surface. Right now, everything looks pretty kind of quiet. I'm just going to hunt around for deep quakes real quick. So that's our main deep quake, the 4.4 at Fiji. This is a release at 159, 4.5 at 159. More energy being released over here with the 4.3. That's a little deeper. This depth is 212, okay? So this one's a little deeper. Let's go investigate what's going on. Oh, it's a fault. Ooh, and some bitch. All right, you guys, check this out. This is not a good spot right here because of a fault with a volcano right next to it. All right. This volcano, as it goes down into the water, spreads out. This is on the flank of this volcano, probably right at the base, because you can see the flank dropping down in. Well, you can't on my screen. You can barely see that this gradual slope goes down and then ends right at the bottom of the ocean right around here, and that's right where this quake happened, is on the flank of this volcano. So it released some pressure. Had it not, we may have seen this volcano erupt. What this is also telling me is there's magma moving down below the plate right there, right on the fault. See right where the fault runs through? So I'm going to put a little yellow alert, a light alert out for this volcano because we are seeing activity right next to it. Now, it didn't blow, but this could be indicator that magma is on the move and this could possibly come to life soon. Okay? Possibly come to life soon. Listen closely. I don't say it will. I say possibly. I try to choose my words closely and correctly. Except for my cuss words. Those ones just come flying out. And I was never a person who cusses, man. I don't know what's going on, man. My world has changed ever since September 10th. Violently changed in a way that you guys would never want to happen to you. All right. Whoa. We're not done with earthquakes. Because I was going to say, this volcano, be on the lookout. It could possibly have an eruption, a little ash plume, whatever. We might see another quake on this fault line. Okay. Pull back. And pull back. Now, here we are at the Sumatra area. This is the fault line that had the rupture that caused a 9.2, I think it was, on December 26th. Big tsunami wiped out that area. So, but what we're seeing here is a 4.6 at a depth of 84.6. This is a little concerning because it's right here at this pinch point. This is where, what is it, Anak Krakatau, or Krakatau is, oh, my back is, Sorry. Anyways, there's volcanoes right here that produce big explosions, all right? And right here on the tip of the sun and stuff. So we have earthquake activity, which is good. This is a pressure release, okay? This isn't too bad. This is a 4.6 at a depth of 84. So that's a mid-level pressure release right off the shore, but it could also be an indicator of activity, possibly pressure along this fault line, okay? So we have more energy coming in from the sun. I've described what that does. We will see more deep quakes. We will see more of this trickling down the line here. Here is this quake. Here's the fulcrum point, and we've been seeing quakes right up in this area, right off of this fulcrum point. This is off to the side here. This is pressure coming in from this, but it's being released way down here in the foothills of the Himalayas. So it's not being released right on the mountain range itself, but down in the foothills. And it's a 4.6, no, yeah, a 4.6 at a depth of 10. So that's just pressure being released along the way. It's good. I don't see any activity in this area. Am I blind, or is this not refreshing, or are we jammed up, or what? Okay. Another thing that we like to kind of look for are dead zones. Do you see any quake activity at all in here? Okay, none. Not even small ones. Look around how widespread this quiet area is, all right? So we have energy coming down the line. It's reached this point so far. When you see no quakes like this, that's not good either. That's pressure building up right now. Every single fault line in this area is building up pressure. There's 4 point something energy coming in. It needs to keep transferring down the line. We need a 4 here, 4.4. We need another 4.4. We need all these matching quakes to fill in this area. So this area is really quiet now, but it won't be for long. You got inbound energy coming in at about 4.4 range, or 4.5 range, okay, for Europe. So, and the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is really quiet. I would like to see a little bit more activity out of it, just for pressure release only. I don't want to see a huge quake, but I would like to see small 4.4 to 5 range all along all these faults a little bit to relieve pressure. Now we're getting into the area I don't like to talk about, so I'm not going to talk about it yet. Here we have this quake just off our fulcrum point, more pressure being released, 4.2 pressure at a depth of 44. That's good. That's perfect. That's what we like to see. No, I don't want to look at that. 4.6 at a depth of 10 right there by the Panama Canal, or just here right at this the tip of Colombia here. All right. Here we go. A 4.6 off the coast of Cocos Plate here. 4.6 at a depth of 42. That's a medium shallow. Ooh, a 4.9 at a depth of 90. I want to see. Okay, it's at a depth of 90. All right, so this is okay. This is not right on the shelf right here, because I don't want to see a quake right on the edge cause a slough and have a underwater landslide. It's okay if they hit up here in the weak zone, right around where the beach and where the land and the water kind of, it's really soft sand along here because it's all water, right? Okay, so that's our weak zone right off the shoreline right there, because water, all that land is super saturated with water, right? And that's where we get these quakes, is in that weak zone. So in the weak zone, we're picking up a 4.9, and it's kind of deep. Not kind of deep, it's just not a shallow one. It's at a depth of 90. Okay, so that's a healthy little pressure release. And another one right here, a little bit shallower at 42. Okay, so it's kind of good, but I would love to see pressure releases all around the planet except on this plate right here. I cannot convey the sense of urgency about this plate right here, and as well as the Wanda Fuca. All right, these are fractured plates. They're not part of the main Pacific plates. They're like a little puzzle piece, like a little broken off wedge stuck in there. Okay, one shift of this plate could be catastrophic for Southern California. One shift of this plate could be catastrophic for the whole West Coast. So this is good energy, but it's also showing activity in the area. All right, I'd rather see. I'll take that. It's good enough, but I don't want to see anything bigger in that area or up here in the Wanda Fuca. Now let's come over to Kamchatka. I still can't say it right now. Anyways, this is a 5.8 at a depth of 86. That's good. That's a good pressure release right there. It's just under 6. It's a sub 6, which is perfect. I don't want to see much over 6, but it's a good pressure release right there by our fulcrum point. Okay, we might see. No, it looks like it has jumped over a little bit, but a little bit more activity in this area because there's not enough quakes and there's volcanoes going off now and quakes going off now, but this is going to be an area where we're going to see a lot of pressure being diverted, released, and escaping in the form of the volcano. And this earthquake is actually on that little island, that southern island that just had the volcano blast. So I want to take a peek. You know, as we pull back, all right, you see how this island chain formed? Bing, 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 came along, formed a volcano here, formed a volcano there. There's another one right down here, right? Boom, boom, boom. Look at this one. This one's beautiful. The caldera actually filled in with water and has the bubble or the growing. I can't think of the term right now. Anyways, the lava dome growing inside of it made it up above the water. So you have an island inside the crater. That's a badass volcano right there. But what I was trying to point out is there's another volcano. There's 2 on this island. Look, there's another volcanic feature, okay? So this is a little chain of volcanoes, right? Boom, 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 boom. Do you see this little seamount? Let me go in just a tad bit tighter. All right, do you see this little ridge, this little seamount area? This could be possibly an underwater volcano forming in this area because this is a lot of pressure release point. So if there were to be an underwater volcano forming, I would expect it in this region or down by Japan, okay? Because this is pull back a little bit. All right, the fulcrum point is where I would expect to see a lot of energy being dispersed. We're seeing it just before it in this quake and the volcanic activity on the island. The other place I'm concerned about is this fulcrum point right here, and that's right off of Fukushima, okay? Ow, ow. Sorry, folks, I get twinges of pain here. This fulcrum point off of Fukushima here, okay? If they don't have pressure releases and earthquakes in the 4 to 5 range, 6 range, not constantly, but on a regular basis to relieve pressure in this area, they're going to see another big quake, and they're going to see underwater seamounts turning into volcanoes. And I'm pretty sure it's already happening. We're seeing floating pumice fields crashing on the beaches around Okinawa, Japan and stuff. So that tells me that out here somewhere is an underwater volcano going off, all right, already. So Japan's a hot spot for underwater volcano activity, and maybe here as well. So this earthquake the depth of it is what concerns me. It's not super deep. Okay, it's right at that layer at 86 kilometers down. That's right where the magma and the bottom of the crust kind of meet in that zone. And if it's reaching up higher than that zone, it's melting the rock and turning it into liquid magma. Okay, so we might be seeing some kind of magma intrusion event causing, because this is a 5.8, and when I look, it's not on the fault. It doesn't match up with a pressure release quite as well that it does a possible underwater seamount. Okay, and with that, I think that was the end of our. Oh no, we're just gonna do our forecast now. Oh, you guys are still with me? Brave audience. The elite. Oh, by the way, they don't get to be called elite anymore. They are criminals. You guys are elite. So, they are criminals. So, here we are at our GFS model. I'm going to set the time and dates, get you all set up, run the loop, have a drag, and I'll be right back. Before we start the loop, this is still the tail remnants of our big storm. The low pressure has moved up into Canada, and it messed Canada up pretty good. They had a huge icing event. That's some of the footage in the intro was of the icing event and the snow and tornadoes they had up there in Canada as well. Okay, so this is still the tail end of residual moisture from that event. And as I put this into motion, I want you to watch as it keeps erupting in this area. All right, this pattern. There's a lot of hot water just off the coast down here, and it keeps, with our jet stream sucking this moisture up, it keeps drawing that moist, warm water, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico up into this area. So let's just get this running and watch as this area keeps going and going. We have one more low that drops in and almost does the similar comma type effect, and a couple more coming in off the west coast. So just watch this and I'll be right back. Oh yeah. Everything's going into the absurd. The political, the wars, the financial, the earthquakes, the weather. We're definitely going into the absurd now. That's why I titled it such. Some of the stories I've seen on the news, I try not to watch the news, but some of the stories I saw lately were just so ridiculous. I couldn't believe I was watching the news. I thought I was watching a cartoon, or it was like the Onion. Remember the Onion that was like a satire news? I could have swore I was watching the Onion. I just saw an ad too for a new executive that was signed in the middle of the night that enables them to come take all of your money and all of your currency out of your bank account now. Did you guys know about this one? I'll look it up. It's HR something something something. These guys got together in the middle of the night and passed this stuff so they can go in and steal your money out of your bank accounts now. And they passed it in the middle of the night without you knowing. They can't pass any other fucking legislation, but they can sure do criminal activity in the middle of the night, huh? Yeah, that's your Congress, folks. They're out to get you. I don't trust those guys. They all deserve to be in jail right now. Every single member. Even the good guys, because they're not doing anything about it. So, weather. And in lighter news, the weather. John, take it away. All right, Brian, the weatherman, is now here to report, and we're going frame by frame as we see this event still go on in Texas and Louisiana, just off the coast of Texas here. So all the coastal cities along the Gulf Coast of Texas, tomorrow morning, uh, this is 5 a.m. Pacific, so that'll be 7 a.m. Texas time. They're going to wake up to thunderstorms and hail, winds, possible tornadoes tomorrow in this area. This is yellow and red, okay? Um, as another storm comes into the Sierra or into the West Coast here, Northern California can't handle any more water, but they're getting more. All right, boom, and you can see this residual moisture hanging out. All right, there's thunderstorms likely here, but then it dies down and it's just rain, lots of water, lots of rain. Okay, and we're just kind of going forward here, clicking away. Your date and time's up there. This is April 8th now, okay? Now, as we progress into the 9th, April 9th, remember that date, we have this storm coming in up at Seattle and British Columbia, and it's showing yellow and red in it. Let me get a little bit closer up for you guys. Up in that area, because this is due on the 9th coming into this area, all right? And they're showing yellow and just a tad bit of red right here. So Seattle on the 9th is going to get hit with a storm, okay? No. Out of there. We'll have to reload it now. Or do I? Can I just go this way? No. I'll have to reload it now. Just a sec here. Every instrument you click and drag. This one you got to roll the thing. So let me scoot forward to the 9th. There's the 8th. Okay, as it moves off the coast. And this is 5 a.m. on the 9th, 5 a.m. Pacific, as the storm moves in to the Seattle area and the Puget Sound area. Okay, then as we go deeper into the night, that's 5 p.m. Pacific. So at 5 p.m., when the sun's blossomed, when the sun's convecting and all these thunderheads have blossomed, there are going to be some severe thunderstorms right on the coast, right around Washington, Seattle area, okay? Then as we continue, it's a storm that actually kind of moves into the area. It brings severe threats to, or slight threats to northern Idaho. This down here off the coast of Louisiana and Texas looks like it turns into a small hurricane, dare I say. But let's zoom in on it, because you got to see this for yourself, folks. I am just showing you what the instrument is showing. This is type right here with some purple and red in it, okay, off the coast of Louisiana. So New Orleans, watch out on, whoops, zoom back out. Breathe. So New Orleans, scroll. At 5 a.m. Pacific, so 7 a.m. on April 11th on 411 for your information, on 411 for your information, you have a severe storm off the coast of Louisiana that's going to rotate more moisture right off of this and throw it at Florida. See how this is rotating here? This looks like a hurricane that just kind of popped up out of nowhere. It throws this little blob at southern Florida, okay? Boom. It continues to spin and draw moisture up from the Gulf and throw it into the land, okay? Into the corner of Florida right here in the Gulf Coast on April 12th. So the 11th, starting at 5 a.m. on the 11th, or let's say 7 a.m. this time, starting then, through the 11th, we're going to have what looks to be a small type hurricane off the coast of Louisiana. And look out for severe flooding in Louisiana, the Lake Pontchartrain area, and stuff like that. Okay, I don't know. We'll look at this a little closer. I'll dive in a little harder and find out what's going on there, because that's, to me, look, that looks like a small hurricane. Then it goes up the eastern seaboard. Okay, so I'm going a little fast there. I just wanted you guys to see the motion of that. Okay, and it starts off April 10th, late at night, 11 p.m. So 1 in the morning here, just off the coast of Louisiana, you're going to have severe thunderstorms rotating and producing some kind of small hurricane type event that's going to make fucking landfall. Are you kidding me? Look, 9. Oh, that's not the millibars. 991. It looks like. Let me go to the next frame. 994. It's making landfall at 994 millibars at around 5 p.m. April 11th. Okay, so. Warning going out to southern Louisiana, southern Texas, the Gulf Coast, this region, because this model might change, okay? This is, what, 4 days out? It's semi-accurate, but we have a spin-ups event down here that's going to thrust moisture at Florida, at southern Florida. You see this red thing right here? Let me get as much of this instrument as I can. All right, you see we have, this is warm water. This is a very possible not violent storm, but can produce violent storms when it hits the tip of Florida, possible tornadoes here in the southern tip of Florida, as this rotates possible water spouts into the land. So if it stays out in the water like this, it's going to convect and produce and pump stuff into this area. And if you look, that low doesn't like move really fast. It hangs out. Look, it does a spin of its own. It comes up and the low spins and comes back. Watch. Comes up, spins, goes back, and then here's the low, the center of rotation, then starts to move up again and make landfall again, shoving thunderstorms along with it up the East Coast, picking up more moisture along the East Coast as it wraparound effect goes up the East Coast. Now, we have this low that's probably reaching back around. I don't know if it's doing this effect, but we have this new low coming into play here, all right? As this event is finishing off, now, this is an odd-looking low. This one has the comma going up this direction. So as we continue into the 14th, you'll see icing event again up here in Canada. All right, back out a little bit. It starts a little bit here, but then 5 p.m. Pacific, that'll be 7 p.m. in this time zone on April 14th, another icing event and snow in Canada right there again. Possible thunderstorms off the coast here with this huge low moving in. It's at 999 or 989, probably 999. There's 997. Now watch as it kind of keeps this icing event here. It holds it there for a long time. And instead of becoming this big comma shape, it goes kind of vertical on the map here. And you see these intense storms that are moving into Louisiana area again after they got their small little hurricane event. All right, right here, this speckled event, this could be an outbreak of tornadoes in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. This storm is just like one of those other lows that we just watched. Okay? It's going to do something freaky. Because this is some odd behavior already. You see now we're kind of far out. I don't want to report too much, but you do see, oops, I'll pause it, go back here. I accidentally hit play instead of moving forward. You do see some increased threat activity here on 5 a.m. Pacific, so 8 a.m. on the 17th. All right, so 8 a.m. April 17th in this region, this is gonna fire up. That's, right after the sun comes up, we're gonna see convection again at 8 a.m. on the 17th. Starting, this low is really gathering strength here and getting nice shape and comma formation at early morning hours on the 17th. Then the convection will hit. It'll start to go up through New York here. There's a little yellow spot in the middle of New York, Washington, D.C. area. That might be the day. This storm might be the one that punishes New York and Washington. We'll see. But you can see we have another one of these giant lows that's going to threaten the eastern half of the country again. Now, you guys know what to do now, is just start praying right now. Get ahead of the ball on this storm and start praying. We can demolish that storm with our prayers. You saw what we did to that last one? That was a monster. That storm was going to kill more people than all the other storms combined. And we dodged a bullet, didn't we? A lot of people got spared that day. And that was the result of your prayers. I am just going to tell you straight up, there's no other thing that stopped it besides your prayers, okay? So there was the weather report. What was I didn't even have a gem for tonight. Oh, we're going to do a skyquake, yeah. So let's do some skyquakes as our gem. Oh, you know what? Skip the ad. I don't really care about ads anymore. It's so frustrating. We're in the last seconds here, and they're still playing ads. Are you kidding me? Oh, this is what is this skyquake? Are they going to give us some examples? Not really. So, I want good audio examples. Oh, this is the event over Jerusalem. Did you guys ever see this event that happened over Jerusalem a couple of years ago? I think it's in this one. Yeah, we're going to play this one just for some of our sound effects for these trumpet blasts. And then I'm going to play you something different too. Now, come on, audio. Everything. Can we line it up, Lord? Huh? Because I want them to hear the sounds. All right. Picture the shell is hollow. It has the core in it, but it is a metal shell. And it's vibrating because the core is rubbing inside of it. Have you guys ever played with one of those wooden bird whistles with the little metal plug that you push in and twist? That's the core, pushing in and twisting. Now this is a different sound. This is the spiritual realm. Okay, I'll give you folks one good guess what that sound is, because that is not the core, that's not the trump blast, that's not the grinding metal sound, that's a different sound, isn't it, folks? Does it sound familiar? Do you recognize what this sound might be? Okay, that was the dragon, folks. That's the dragon. It's here. It's in the spiritual realm. And did I not tell you that the spiritual realm is now manifesting in the physical realm? So, this event right here, the roaring of the dragon, took place in Slovakia. And that's where we had the god face in the sky spitting lightning over Slovakia. So Slovakia is having paranormal events. There's a dragon here in the clouds. It's really hard to see. Oh, where was the one frame where it got captured? Really go. The guy doesn't even know what to look for, but in the clouds was captured. All right, never mind. I want you to listen to these sounds. Metal ball spinning inside of a metal spheroid shell. The brakes applying. That giant vibration going emanating from the ground up and bouncing off the atmosphere. These sounds appear to come from the sky, but not a certain direction, just in all directions in the sky. Yeah, you can totally hear the shell like vibrating. And the echoes, the like thunderous echoes, the deeper sounds. That's what the core and the shell sound like. Now this event is over Jerusalem, and it had electromagnetic disturbance that, look what it did to the clouds. This is a sign, you guys. See the circular shape of the clouds?
Wow. Oh, nothing.
Okay. I want to find some different examples because that didn't have the one low grinding sound that really kind of it has quite the unique sound to it, and I hope this compilation has it in there. kind of peeking through the little pop-up down here because I know what the background looks like of this one, the one I'm looking for at least. But in the meantime, we'll listen to these ones. Now, the mystery is no longer a mystery. It's been solved. I solved it. These skyquakes are the shell and the core grinding in each other. It emanates from the surface of the planet. You can't hear it when it emanates from the ground, but it bounces off the atmosphere. And that's why this sound appears to come from the sky, because it's the sound of the core echoing, bouncing off like a mountainside when it echo. It's bouncing off the atmosphere and coming back down, and it appears to come from the sky. Alright, that's not it. That one's dull. I want the really gnarly ones. That's the one, kind of stuff I'm looking for. Alright.
Stop.
Alright, here we go. Sorry. You
What is
hear
it?
There's harmonic vibrations.
Where's it coming from?
Those are harmonic tremors. And people report the ground rumbling.
I've never heard of like this before. Sounds like ships, horns. That's freaky. What's that? Wow. Are they rumbling?
See, they can feel it in the ground because it's the core.
Is it coming from over there? Over there, where that light is?
No, it's coming from the sky. Alright, so that's one example.
Mistä vitusta toi tulee?
Alright, that's not an example, but as we search for more examples here, now you can tell all your friends you know what causes the skyquakes, right? You can tell them, say, hey, I know what causes those. It's the core grinding in the shell. Alright. And it says the source behind a mystery sound heard around the world. They don't know the source. I do. And you guys do now. Where is the one that has the harmonic tremor, or the really amazing harmonics in it? Yeah, but let's try this one. It's got quite an example here.
There's no single explanation for them, but they keep happening all across the world. Loud booms that rock and
I've never heard of like this before.
what they have in common is no one can point to their source.
I can.
Never a conclusive explanation. Everyone remains mystified. The police, City Hall, the
Because
military,
they're all a
and
bunch of
local
dummies that
industrial
never paid
operators.
attention in class. Are you kidding me? What a crappy video. The worst examples, and it's more of that dude just talking about himself than actually explaining what's going on. Because they don't pay attention. It's quite simple, really.
I'm hearing, looking out my window right now, hearing some.
Jeez, man. Alright, I'll have to go to another one here. 15 minutes, and you didn't have any good examples in there. Yeah, you had diarrhea, huh, buddy? It's too bad. Alright, skip your ad. I'm looking for a certain one that...
New at 11 now. It's a nervous night for residents of Fair Lawn, New Jersey, wondering if it will happen again.
You guys start hearing that, you know what's happening. That means when you hear that sound too, when you hear these whistles and these whines and stuff, that means the core is grinding, right, on the shell. Does that mean maybe you should go inside, possibly, in case an event happens and we have a core lock? You know what we were talking about earlier? So these are almost like a warning sound to warn people that the core is grinding on the shell, and you could possibly experience a core lock. Ooh, this one looks like it might.
New at 11 now. It's a nervous night for residents of Fair Lawn, New Jersey, wondering.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find a certain one for you, and you guys are very patient with me. I don't care about the moon crash. No. Is this one I've played before? Yeah, it might be in this one, because I've played... Yeah, this one has segmented. Alright, please, Lord, let this one play. Please, this is the one we were looking for. Now just let it spinny. Yeah. Alright, here I'm going to get the microphone back to the speaker. Hopefully the audio's been alright for this video. Okay. Here, let's just start here. I thought it was going to start playing that. Alright. 2019. Let's try it.
Maybe if we just went a bit further up, we might see something. Oh, this is it. Maybe what, 2012? It was 2013. Yeah. Alright, okay. It's not an animal, is it?
Where's my astronomy books?
Mistä vitusta tuo tulee?
Oops. Hang on, I'm getting out the old astronomy book here. So I want to show you a little example out of this here in a minute. Alright, where's the other sound here? Hear that harmonics? Alright, this one gets pretty loud, so, and then I'll find one more example, and then I got something to show you. That last sound right there. That was the core and the shell grinding on each other, bud. Well, I kind of 4 minutes. Let's see real quick if it's got what I'm looking for in it. Nope. Here's 2 minutes. Seeing that one. Alright, so we're gonna take a camera out for a second here, and I want to do a quick little explanation for you guys. Hopefully we still have a microphone here. Okay, here we are at a diagram of the core of the Earth. Where'd my magic wand go? Oh, dang it. Alright, well, anyways, I'm just going to kind of use my finger here. You can see our core here is this gold spheroid in the center. This white zone would be the, here we go. So solid inner core made out of nickel and iron. Then a molten outer core. Now this is theorized to be molten, but it's under such pressure that even if it is molten, it's still in a phase of almost a solid. Okay, because of the pressure. So this white zone is a ball around a ball. Okay, it's like a layer around this ball, and when that white layer, where is my pointer? Oh, there it is, under the book. All right, sorry about the shakiness there. Get back to business. So the core, when it expands outward, when heat expands, when it heats up, it expands outward, right? Well, the shell wants, when it heats up in response, it wants to expand outward too. But the crust is keeping it from expanding outward. So when it can't expand outward, it expands back down in, well, shadow. It expands back down inward on the core. And right at this barrier right here, right at that line, where the core and the shell meet at that barrier line, that's where our harmonic vibrations are happening. That's where the grinding is happening, is at that barrier between the core and this other layer, the supposedly molten, but it's under such pressure that it's so solid that it grinds like metal on metal, okay? Then those vibrations grinding at this barrier go up through the mantle, up through this barrier, up through the mantle, and they hit the crust. Then they emanate from the crust and go out into space. Well, if this white ring were the atmosphere, the sounds would go up, hit the atmosphere, and then bounce back down. And these skyquakes is the squealing going on in here, hitting from the surface, hitting the atmosphere, and bouncing back down. Okay, so there was the physical example of what's going on here. All right, and you can hear it clear as a bell. Get it clear as a bell? That's what it's like. That shell is like a bell that resonates and rings and vibrates, okay? And that's the sound that you're hearing in these skyquakes. If I can get this microphone in. There we go. Is it in? Alright. So, we have now solved the mystery of the skyquakes, okay? It's no longer a mystery. It's the core grinding on the shell inside the planet, emanating from the surface and echoing and reverberating off the atmosphere back down towards the ground, making it appear to come, the sound appear to come from the sky. Alright? So, that's the trumpet noises that we're hearing, right? I want to find this harmonic sound that we are also capturing. If we don't find it here, I'll play it in another video or something, because there's other stuff I want to show you now. So, one of the hot spots for the sounds in these skyquakes is Slovakia. So let's back out of this real quick and go to strange sounds over Slovakia. I already got it there. So strange sounds over Slovakia. Okay. Now this is the God face in the sky spitting lightning. And this video is about the strange sound in the sky. They didn't see the face, they were reporting on the sound. Then we just heard this, the dragon hissing in the background. That's an apocalyptic sound over Slovakia. Here's more over Slovakia. This is over Jerusalem, but there were more events over Slovakia. Here's another one, strange, that's the other one, okay? So there's strange. Slovakia has some very hidden history, we'll say. And we're just going to play a bunch of these sounds from Slovakia, which are, by the way, are different. Okay, these sounds coming out of Slovakia are different than the core grinding in the shell. So I want you to listen to these sounds coming out of Slovakia. Okay, play. The dragon is actually saying something. If you know how to speak dragon, it's actually saying a name. It's calling a name. Yeah, it's calling a name, all right. Here it is, calling the same name. Brian. That's my name, don't wear it out. That's my name, don't wear it out. Okay, so we saw that one before. Now let's go to the scary god face in the sky that groans, growls, and spits lightning, folks. Ready? Set. Hold on to your seatbelts. There's a giant face in the clouds right here. 2 eyes, a nose, the mouth. Okay, so now what I want to do here is... Okay, so things are happening at multiple dimensions, at multiple meanings, and at multiple speeds. That's why I tell you guys to speed stuff up, slow it down. So this is slow. This is happening in slow motion. So I'm going to speed it up 2 times, and you're going to hear the groans and the growls a lot clearer now. Also, something I want to point out is the screaming and stuff is in the background is coming from the sky. It's not people in the street screaming at this face in the sky. This is just that these people captured. So the screaming, the harmonics, everything is what it is. All right, now it's... Okay, so this face has a little crown on it too. There's an eye, the nose, the mouth. Let's see if we can get it freeze framed right where it spits the lightning. Come on, it's right here somewhere. you know what I can do is I can slow it down. 2.25. Put it right about here and hit play. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, let me get the glare out of here. Alright, so I pointed out the face, right? You guys can, I want to get it just right to where it doesn't blind the camera. Alright, the two eyes, the nose, the mouth. The face, the mouth is spitting lightning. This is God spitting lightning. Alright? I showed you these faces in the clouds last night. Alright? I have seen this very face before. Many times. Alright? I don't show it to you guys because it's kind of trapped in my computer, and the images I captured of it are way more scarier than this, okay? So, that's why I show you this part, because this is the mild part, alright? This is a real entity. This is God showing up in the clouds as promised, and he's sending a message to the country of Slovakia, isn't he? So, you see that that frame right there? That's a real frame. You know what I need to do here? Let's just go like this. Full screen, thank you, Lord. Full screen now. All right. Maybe around a wedge. Not too much wedge. I want to not blind the camera, but capture it appropriately. And get a little better focus. Alright, well, that's about as good as it's going to get. We're going to go down so you can see the lightning bolt. Alright? See the lightning bolt coming right out of its mouth? Yeah. Like I said, the spiritual realm is now manifesting in the real world, in the physical world, okay? And you guys, what I'm showing you this for, expect to see this over most of the major cities of the world here pretty soon, okay? It's already happening. I showed you Jesus in the several times on Easter, right? I showed you the dragon last night. Here's God showing his face and spitting lightning at the country of Slovakia for all of their sins. Okay, so expect to see this activity happening soon in a town near you, because it will be happening all around the world to every single place. So now all of a sudden my tripod is, wow. Dude, this thing is totally attacking my tripod. And okay, there we go. Get off of me. That was very interesting how that moved all by itself. Anyways, I got it set back up again. I'm going to continue the video, finish it out with this. Oh, wait, we gotta do the speed one more time. Pause it, double the speed one more time, and we'll close out with this at twice the speed. And remember, this is all real stuff, you guys. It's time you guys start getting ready. Okay, so bam, right there. Alright. Anyway, so we'll kind of leave that sitting there for a minute. So you guys got any questions here? I think we're done reporting and done doing videos and everything. And I was kind of wondering from my chat audience how that audio turned out. I didn't want to get it too loud to where it distorts, but I wanted to get it loud enough to where you guys could hear the growling and the grunting of this entity here. Okay? And the dragon is also in the area, flying around, growling over the country of Slovakia. So we got these two different kinds of skyquakes. We have our regular skyquake that's generated by the core and the shell grinding together, causing the howling and the squealing and the trumpet blast type. Then we also have paranormal activity, the spiritual realm manifesting in the physical world now and attacking the physical world. All right, I get demon attacks now physically, no longer spiritually. They are full-on physical, brutal assaults. My body is shattered. I have shattered shoulder, shattered hip, 2 broken feet, 2 broken wrists, broken ribs. You name it, man. I bit out every tooth in my mouth. Just crazy, crazy pain. Where are the eyes? An eye there and an eye there. Eye, nose. It's a 3/4, it's not a profile, but it's a 3/4 shot of the face with an eye, the nose, the mouth right here. Almost like an elderly man whose mouth is kind of caved in because there's no teeth in his mouth. So he has that like buckled in type mouth effect because he has no teeth left. He bit them all out. The gnashing of teeth to the point where you bite out your own teeth. Imagine how painful that is. A lot of nerve endings in the mouth. Anyways, so we have this going on. We have the signs in the sun. Okay, we have these objects interacting with our sun, like we report on every night. All right. These are signs in the sun promised by God. He said, you will see this, you will see that. Look up into the clouds and you'll see. So I'm going to show you again, like I love to do, what was captured on Easter. And I'm going to push this point all the way up until the day of Easter because it's right around the corner, folks. And when you see what I captured on Easter, you might put 2 and 2 together and be able to figure out what's going on. You guys don't have to be a mathematician to figure this one out. It's kind of simple, but it's just hard to believe is all. And that lack of belief has made my life a living nightmare. But I love to show you the real deal. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So I know there's a lot of activity going on the sun, but I really don't feel like reporting on that stuff right now. Actually, I want to go back and revisit an event that happened earlier this year, 2020, around Easter, when I captured what appears to be Jesus in the clouds here. This event happened on Easter. Okay, I didn't post this video until the next day, and it wasn't until after I did the video the next day that it occurred to me, wait a second, I took those pictures yesterday. That was Easter. So this event happened on Easter. I cannot stipulate the sense of urgency in this video, okay? I need you to tilt your head to the right about 45 degrees, and here's an eye, his other eye, his nose, his mouth, his chin and beard, his hair flowing back like this, and you can make out a crown up here above his head. That crown is hovering over his head. There seems to be almost a little halo around his head too. And once you see that image, then we can zoom in just a little bit tighter. There you go. Okay, and this event happened over a course of about an hour, and I got a lot of pictures of it. See, if we go up above here, you can see all these pictures up from way over here going across, or all of this event, and I'm going to show you more of what happened here. Okay, here I've... Just real quick, I saw a comment in the comment section. I thought it was people screaming in that last video. It is people screaming, but it's not the people of Earth screaming at a face in the sky. Those screams are coming from the spiritual realm. Okay? The grunting, the growling, the harmonics, the squealing, and the screaming of people is coming from the sky. Now back to this video here. I just stack these these pictures. I take a bunch of pictures, I stack them in a flip book. That's where I explain this. Here, let's hop in right about here. So these are all pictures I taken here, where you can see that this face has changed now. Now we're seeing a more round, like lion type face with the nose right here. Here's an eye coming out here, an eye going that way. Here's its mouth slit, the chin going down here. So this round face right here with a crown still above it. Now I'm going to go through and show you the flip book where it changes from Jesus to this lion face. Okay, now we're here at this image right here. This is a flip book of about maybe 15 or 20 of those pictures, and it's the transition between Jesus's face and the lion face. Now this happened in the... Trying to freeze framing on one of these. All right, so on Easter of 2020, a miracle happened. It tells you in the Bible, when you see a nation rise against nation, when you see, kingdom against kingdom, wars and rumors of wars, look up, look into the clouds, you'll see me coming in the clouds. Well, that miracle happened. It actually took place on Easter of all days. It didn't happen on Christmas. It didn't happen on Halloween. It didn't happen on some random date. On Easter, Jesus showed up and turned into a lion face in the sky. This is prophecy being fulfilled. This is a sign telling you he's here. He's here now. There should be headlines across the world, Jesus has returned. But instead, we have headlines that says Biden administration releases new tax regulations. Oh, joy. I can't wait to find out how he's going to rip us off even more, huh? Well, it's okay, because I'm here to fight for you guys, all right? And just to let you know, I'm watching over and protecting you guys. You're the elite. The others are fucking clowns that are going to pay dearly, dearly in the court above. That's about it for tonight. I love all of you guys. You guys are my favorites. Because you stick around through and you are still interested after 2 hours and 17 minutes, and I keep showing the same thing over and over again, and I think maybe you guys might start figuring out what's going on here and who you're watching on YouTube. Yes. How could that be? On YouTube? No way. Well, Yahweh. What better way, actually? It's YouTube, right? All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I sure love you guys. I miss you guys so much. It's been a long time since I've seen y'all, so we'll be seeing each other here real soon, okay? Not to fear. Brian is here. We're going to clean house, take care of a little business here, and then who wants to go to a wedding? Yeah? You guys like a wedding? I do. I like weddings and the reception and all the nice dancing and good times with family, and it'll be a quite the soiree. And then let's see, there's going to be people that won't be allowed into the wedding, except I still need someone to do eternal dishes. Eternal dishes and eternal cleanup. I don't know, I was thinking maybe Hillary or Joe Biden. Well, Joe Biden can take out eternal trash. I don't know. I'm still working on that one, but we'll have fun with it. Anyways, I love you all. God bless you all. And until my next video, I'll be back. Oops. Already back with a vengeance.